How's it going, everybody? Happy Wednesday and welcome to the Hot Corner Insider Live Strategy Session. I am your host, Director of Research here at All Star Charts, Steve Straza. We got some bullish developments, more bullish developments, right? Man, if I had $1 for every time I've said that this year. Let's get right into it. Talk about what's moving out there. Nothing that we discuss here today constitutes any solicitation to buy or sell any securities. This is solely for informational purposes, not to be construed as investment advice. For more on our disclaimer, visit allstarcharts.com/terms. So last week, we talked about the bull market birthday, right? The 1-year anniversary of basically this day here, June 16th, I think it was. Yeah. So June 16th, the number of stocks making new 52-week lows peaked, right? So most stocks, you can see it right here, stopped going down in June of last year. That's when most stocks made their ultimate low for this cycle, right? And since then, we've kind of seen new lows kind of dry up here and disappear more recently. And now look at what we got here. New highs, new 52-week highs, hitting their highest level in over a year now, right? I think this is last April here. So just as the index, and this is based on the S&P 500 components, right? Just as the index itself is making new 52-week highs, this is the new 52-week high line right here. The index itself makes these new highs. We get this really nice confirmation beneath the surface with, you know, the highest reading in new 52-week highs that we've had in over a year. So improvement in market internals, things are moving in the right direction. Participation continues to expand to some of the groups that weren't really working or weren't participating earlier this year. Kind of seeing, you know, that rotation into industrials, some financial names, small caps are picking it up. A lot of value stocks starting to work again. Now, we talked about this last week, risk appetite, right? So just real quick, as a reminder, discretionary stocks, that's your offense, right? Your risk on stocks. Staple stocks, that's your defense. Those are your safety stocks, your risk off stocks, right? We use a ratio of the two. We put XLY, large cap discretionary. In the numerator, we put XLP, large cap staples in the denominator. And that gives us a really, really nice risk appetite barometer, right? This XLY, XLP ratio. Seeing it break out to new 52-week highs is excellent confirmation, right? We've overlaid here. Similar look. This is now just S&P 500 relative to staples, not discretionary, but the entire S&P 500 relative to staples. So you're seeing everything else work better than the most defensive stocks, right? And this is a very, very common characteristic of bull market periods, right? Where the riskiest stocks are investors' favorite. That's what we want to see. We want to continue to see investors move out on the risk curve, right? Embrace riskier and riskier groups and riskier names. Along the lines of that conversation, we have Bitcoin, right? We've been coming on here saying, you know, how about this divergence in Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin shown here in gold and tech stocks shown in blue. They both completed nice bases, right? Earlier this year. You see this base here in Bitcoin. We could extend this line, draw a really nice base breakout line right at 25. Right? Both of them broke out of bases, but tech stocks just started screaming higher. Got that really nice automatic reaction after the bullish resolution. While Bitcoin, you know, popped for a little bit and then came back and tested, right? These pivot highs from earlier in the year and late last year. Tested that base breakout level. We're sitting here saying to ourselves for the past couple of weeks now, where do we go from here? Well, we wanted to err in the direction that Bitcoin would see similar rotation to other laggards. Right? Bitcoin is now a laggard, like within the growth and tech space. I was just talking with Alfonso off air, and we were saying, he made a great point. Anything that hasn't broken out of its base yet in the tech and growth space is probably a laggard, right? Bitcoin broke out of that base, but is still at the same level as it was. No follow through, really, right? A little follow through back in, you know, March when it happened, but then straight lower, right? Textbook retest. We've been sitting back and saying, we want to make the bet that Bitcoin catches some rotation. It's basically just a industry group of technology, right? You got software, you got semiconductors, you got internet stocks, you got crypto, you got Bitcoin, right? Treat it as an industry group of tech growth. So we were saying we're going to make the bet that Bitcoin's going to play catch up to growth stocks here, catch up to tech stocks. And now we're seeing it. So this is zoomed in on Bitcoin, showing that 25,000 level, right? Really, really nice resistance last year, earlier this year, broke through, came right back and retested it. We found resistance at 30 in Q2 after we got this breakout. Now right back to 25. That's kind of been the range, right? 25, 30. It still is. Looks like we're gunning for 30 right now, though. What's up, Wavy McFly? Hey, Nikki. Yeah, it looks like we're going for it. Maybe today. Gosh, look at that candle. So we're up 6-7% on the day, 6.6%. You know, testing that 30,000 level right here. These highs from back in April. And when we zoom out, see why that 30,000 level is important, right? I think JC kind of likes it on strength through 30. You know, I think you can also buy weakness back to 25 here. I added some at 25 last week. Said I was going to do that on here. 25, 30. Listen, we're not above 30. We're not in the clear yet. We want to see this breakout. We want to get above these pivot highs from this year and these lows from 2021. I think then we really, really have confirmation that we're going back to these all-time highs. And I just have to show this. Just tweeted this one out. Something, kind of an observation I made a few weeks back now. It's that this is definitely not the first time we're seeing Bitcoin kick off a fresh rally, fresh leg higher on the heels of some very bad industry news and a failed move, right? Bitcoin loves to start rallies, failed moves, and bad news. See it all the time. Happened back in Q1, right? Broke down to new multi-month lows as Silvergate and Signature Bank were being shut down. And we scooped higher, screamed higher, ran from about 20 to 30, right? Off of those lows after that move failed. Now we have the SEC suing Binance and Coinbase. It's like every day, a new negative headline about this stuff for the main, you know, the major exchanges and brokerages in the space right now. I think there's about to be a huge shift in the landscape away from the current market leaders, right? Coinbase and friends, and towards new entrants, BlackRock and friends. I think we're going to see that play out over the coming, 6 to 12 months in a big way. But point remains, bad news, failed moves, kicking off another rally. Love to see it. I want to just talk right about the miners right now. Mara looks so good. Riot was another one. I know it's not on our list, but talk about, a failed move, kicking off a nice new rally. If you look at that Riot chart, it's one of Mara's competitors in the Bitcoin mining space. Flushed lower, it's multi-month lows and then just ripped higher. Mara's moving, big time the past 2 days as well. Look at how tight the Bollinger Band's got. This is just a measure of volatility. Stock's volatility, right? We got so tight, tighter than we've been in almost, on record for this name, at least since it's been a Bitcoin miner marathon. And we're just, screaming out of this coil here, right? We could draw a little pennant or triangle right here on this coil. And volatility just fell off a cliff. Looked like it was going to zero. Possible. And now we're just, ripping higher, really, really resolving from this tight little pattern here. And, from contraction comes expansion, volatility. Volatility is mean reverting, right? It contracts and then it expands. Contracts and it expands. And that's all we're seeing here is the expansion in volatility. That's why we use this Bollinger Band indicator. Tends to give us an idea of when a big move is coming, right? So us trying to determine what direction that move is in. Right now, that move is higher for Mara. We can play it right off this 950 level, right? Our big levels here are really 5 and 20. But look, if we're above 950, target 20, that'll give you a double. See what it's doing today. Last 3 days have just been crazy. Mara was up 6.6% Friday, another 17% yesterday, another 5% here today. So huge moves from these stocks. Mara looks like it's making the new year-to-date high. So this will be the stock's highest level. If we can close up around here, this will be the highest level since last November. So, this base is really coming together. And I think we can just about say, listen, if we stick these new year-to-date highs at like 1250, 1230, path of least resistance is higher. Got the 200-day moving average kind of curling right now. It's not showing on the chart. But anyway, we had a Form 4 filer, an insider in this name last year. 950, target 20. Got to talk about this. So, GameStop, Ryan Cohen, he is the executive chairman. He's back running things at GameStop. He made a monster purchase, I think a $10 million purchase. Yep, shown right here. When was it? Last week, maybe the week before now, June 9th. Big buy. So he was in the news a few days back, and I thought his comments were just incredible. And I wanted to talk about them here. You can go find them on my Twitter. I tweeted out the video or the clip of his opening remarks at the GameStop Investor Day, our annual shareholder meeting, right? His opening remarks. I'm just going to read them to you now, but you can go listen to it, like a 2-minute clip of what he had to say about his management style and his how much he likes and believes in managers and executives buying stock and putting their money where their mouth is. I don't know if you guys remember this tweet from March of last year. I forget what stock he was talking about. It had been Bed Bath & Beyond time last year, March of 2022. He said, I put my money where my mouth is. So everybody knows who Ryan Cohen is. There is a new documentary out. I think CNBC did it on him. It's called like The Meme King or something. I do want to watch it. It's on my list. Maybe I'll get to it tonight. But a lot of people don't love this guy, right? Call him pumper and dumper, pumps and dumps. Here's the problem. He wants to buy shares in his own company. When he makes the requisite filing that he has to make with the SEC, revealing that he's bought shares in his own company, naturally the stock is going to go higher. Stocks that he tends to be involved with are rather memey, right? Like Bed Bath & Beyond, GameStop. And then obviously he's going to sell his shares one day. He's trying to make money. And then it's easy for us to step in here and say, oh, he pumped and dumped the stock. Well, how else is that situation going to play out? I mean, what is the answer? He's not allowed to buy stock? I wouldn't want that. Do we want to make rules where executives are not allowed to buy their own stock? He buys it, goes up when he files the Form 4s, and then he eventually sells it for a higher price in the future. And I don't see a way around that, So here were his comments. Management teams are not aligned with shareholders. They are always the recipient of stock grants. However, they rarely purchase shares with their own savings. There is a big difference between risk-free compensation for showing up and putting a meaningful amount of your own money at risk. That was his way of saying, people, give me a break. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I have some skin in the game. Most other managers and executives don't do what I do. They should be mad at them, not me. And I thought that was really cool. This is probably, the nicest thing anybody's ever said about the hot corner, because he's ultimately, what he's saying here is ignore the stock grants. People are given these things. It's compensation. They're not going out and buying the stock with their own money. And that's exactly what we do. Completely filter out any stock grants, stock awards, stock-based comp. We don't want that. We want to know about the guys and girls who are going out and saying, I'm going to take money from my savings and put it into the stock of the company that I work for, because I believe that stock will be at a higher price sometime in the future. That's it. And that's what he's saying here. Big difference between risk-free compensation for showing up and putting a meaningful amount of your own money at risk. Loved his comments, so just wanted to go over them here. As for the chart, that's the filing right there. These ugly SEC filings that we dig through for you, so you don't have to do it. GameStop against 15, it's fine. I know we're trading close to like 25 today. It's really not for me. If you got to do it, here it is though. Use those year-to-date highs. Get confirmation right around 38% Fibonacci retracement. Maybe you could tighten it up, move it a little bit lower here, right? So it really does line up with those year-to-date highs. That level would be, call it 27, right? Yeah, I think 27 is good. So if you want to jump this entry, find 27. I think you get that confirmation at 28.50. Again, not for me. Not going to be out here trading this thing at all. Not interested. But if you got to do it, you got to get into it. I just wanted to give you some levels. Listen, we got better names and some really nice looking charts that had some incredibly bullish insider activity from today's list. Right? Big buyers, big buyers. I'm talking about Zentalis Pharmaceuticals. I don't know the last time I've seen a Form 4 this large that wasn't Warren Buffett. Right? So these guys are out here, Matrix Capital, making a Berkshire-sized Form 4 buy or Form 4 filing, right, at 107 million. They are Tiger Cub, Matrix Capital, one of the earlier Tiger Cubs. Get the manager's name now. I just had it. No. But yeah, they're one of the Tiger Cubs, so pretty well-known fund, making a really, really, really big bet on this biotech ZNTL. And the other one is another biotech. We have another activist involved. Oh, and ZNTL, we have the Form 4 filing here. They also filed a 13D, right? So they're an active investor in this name. They own close to 20%. So we could have put the 13D or the Form 4 on here. We got both filings, I think, yesterday. Iron also stands out. We'll get there in a second. So I really, that was just the list from today. So I really like both of these. And the charts are good too. So Zentalis Pharmaceuticals, I was looking into this one a little bit more. They have 30% short interest. 30% of their float is short. You got guys out here buying $100 million worth of stock. So I thought that was really interesting. I actually had to look because I said, how did they buy that much? 4.7 million shares. Stock doesn't even trade that much volume in a day. There was a secondary offering. Anyway, 32 bucks is our level. Could jump it, maybe use 31.50. It was up big today. I think it's come off a bit. Let's double check here. It's still up nicely, 4.3%. Maybe they're not done buying. I don't know. They probably are though, right? They bought at the offering. So yeah, that's not a good take. They probably are done buying for now. Either way, $32 is that level. Like I said, you could use 31.50. It kind of gives you that little year-to-date blow-off peak here a few weeks back. 32, long towards 43. Second target right around 60. Like I said, these guys just boosted their stake, Matrix Capital, from 13% to 20%. They are an active investor in the name, and I really like this too. 30% short interest. Big hedge fund buyers coming in size, taking a huge stake in this company. You got very little price history right here at this level, right? So if we go above 31.50, 32 here, volume pocket, right? Memory gap, right? Very few transactions at this level between 32 and 43, right? We just collapsed lower through here in April of last year. Now we're back to the scene of the crime. These gaps, once we get into them, they tend to be filled, aggressively, swift moves. I think that's what we could have on our hands here with Zentalis. So it's very much on my watch list right now. Maybe I'll get into it. We will see. Been busy, with these Bitcoin miners the past few days, to be honest. But this one definitely on my watch list. I will be long when we take out 31.50. Disc Medicine, I don't like the way this one trades. Really gappy. Not the most liquid name. It just barely meets our criteria for average dollar volume. Don't love it. That said, very nice chart. Thing's gone almost 5x off of last year's lows, just above 11, trading close to 55 today. If we get that 5x, that 55 would mark it pretty closely. If we do get it, we can be a buyer on the breakout above 55. First target 80.50, which is really nothing for a stock like this. The way it's been moving over the past 2 years, not even 50% there, right? Yeah. All right. Next up, Global E Online Limited, GLBE. You guys recognize this pattern, right? Got to get a 200-day moving average on here. This is the base. This is our bread and butter this year. These patterns. Let's keep going back to the well. I want to buy all the ones that look like this. Again, really clean breakout level at the August highs. Got some memory from Q1, Q2 of last year, and that at this level too, around 38. We're right there right now. Let me see what we're doing today. Giving some back. You see these ARK stocks getting hit hard today? Good Lord. Ooh, tech's really coming off today, especially the growthiest parts of it. This would be ARK's biggest down day since March, right? Go back a good while. How about for something like tech? You are seeing selling in the whole space today. Yeah, tech not nearly as bad. Yeah, we'll have to look into this tape more when we get off this video. So GLBE, I like it. 38 is that breakout level, telling us that the reversal is a valid one and the path of least resistance is now higher. If we're above 38, we like it long. 58, target at 58. The institution that's in this one, just to note, is a passive investor. That's where you got the 13G filing here, but they just bumped or boosted their stake pretty materially, almost doubling it from close to 5% to close to 10%. Extreme Networks, communication space, EXTR. Like when you zoom out on this thing, what a beautiful base. This is a really nice base. We got competing Fibonacci's in here. I like that. Oh, no, we don't. No, we don't. I thought we drew a Fibonacci from the base too. Yeah, so we already hit target one at the 161.8. That was about 24 bucks. Maybe let this one cool off a little bit. I have a feeling it's definitely very overbought. Yeah, it's coming down from RSI 14 reading of like 85. Still in overbought territory. Maybe let this one cool off, digest some of these gains. It's moved in near straight line higher since May now. Extreme Networks surges 15% in May. Yep. Yeah. All right. Listen, it looks good. 24 is that level. As long as we're above it, I would let this cool off, let it do some correcting here, and then buy it on strength back above 24. It looks like it's going to give back that 24 level today. We're trading at 24 and a couple pennies right now. Let it cool off, but keep it on your radar because again, this thing's going to keep climbing up the right-hand side of this base, and it just looks excellent. FTAI Aviation Limited. Just so you guys know too, all of these charts that we've kind of gone over here so far today, not GameStop. Everything else is brand new. These are all new setups. So again, JC keeps saying it on our show, you know, what is the best way to tell that participation is expanding? Just go count the ones making new highs, right? And if we're counting the ones that, you know, I like to say that are resolving higher from these reversal patterns, right? The ones that look like this, we're counting the valid upside resolutions of these reversal patterns. That list is getting longer and longer and longer too, just like the new highs list getting longer and longer. So that's really the best way to do it. And we're seeing it on all of our scans. This is just the latest example. Oops, sorry. FTAI Aviation. So one more new one. $1 million Form 4 buyer. Just back in March. Things set up really nicely. Looks like it's, you know, gunning for those all-time highs from 2021. That level's probably 29.50, 30 bucks. Above there, call it 30, right? Because we have some highs just from the past few weeks, right up around 30. Yeah, 30, I really like it. 30 is pretty clean there. If we're above 30, target to 39. About 30%. Copeland Capital Management is in this Stevanato group, STVN. We talked about this one just last week, and it has continued its ascent higher. This is medical tech, med tech. Provision of drug containment, drug delivery, and diagnostic solutions. Really some hot healthcare names on today's list, huh? Between the biotechs from this morning and this one. So Copeland Capital Management is the institution in this one. They are have a passive stake of just under 6%. Listen, we got the breakout. 29 is really that level. This is now a buy on weakness type of setup. We're trading up here around 32.50 today. But you can buy any and all weakness back towards that 29 level. The target of 38, you know, you do want to get it closer to that risk level though. Belden, BDC. I believe this is building materials, right? We talked about it last week. Oh, no, this is the electrical company. Yeah, transmission solutions, whatever that means. Oh, Belden, Form 4 filer from this time last year. 95 is a monster level for this one. Looks like we're taking it out right here this week. Yeah, we're comfortably above 95. We get some sort of decisive resolution here above these highs from back in 2015. This one's should make a nice reaction higher. Our target is about 138. That's the first Fibonacci extension based on the levels we have, the high and low of this base breakout. So 95 or above there, we like Belden with a target of 138. SoFi, man, people are asking about this one. A lot of buzz around the SoFi lately. Listen, this thing was ripping. We talked about it a lot last week because we were being asked about it every video we were doing. And look at the way it's come back to retest. Almost perfect. I wish I could zoom in a little more on this. So it's been down for the last 4 days now, right? And where did it go to? Right back to these pivot highs from February and August, right? We talk about how it's important to have some sort of line in the sand or base breakout level, right? Where you know you're wrong, you define your risk against. And we love using those August highs, especially when they line up with the year-to-date highs, right? Creating like this confluence of former resistance now turn support. And that's exactly what we're seeing, right? We took this level out a few weeks ago, and now on the corrective action, we're right back there testing this 850 level. We're trading at 857 right now. This is the entry that you want, right? This is the entry that you want for something like SoFi. I think if we hold 850, look, you could risk 7 pennies right now, 7 cents, 850. If we're above their target 1340, that could be a really nice trade. Probably happens pretty quickly too, if and when the move begins. Could take time though, right? Like look at a stock like SoFi, literally doubled, gone from like 4 and change just back in May, right? 2 months later, ran as high as 950, almost $10. $10 on an intraday basis, more than doubled. 2 months, right? So let it cool off. Allow for some little backing and filling here. You know, the most constructive thing this could probably do is start, you know, coiling in some sort of continuation pattern above the breakout level here around 850. So keep it on our radar. I'm probably not going to buy it right here against 850 because, like I said, I would expect that it takes some time to correct here. But it will be on my list maybe a few weeks from now if we get a little tight little pennant or flag forming here above this 850 level. Maybe I'll buy the breakout on that. And I like that the CEO is the buyer here, right? So Anthony Noto is the insider, company CEO. Former chief financial officer of Twitter, fun fact. Vertiv Holdings Corp, VRT. This is another one we talked about last week. It just looks so good. It keeps ripping, hitting targets. So 20 and change was target 1. Took that out, and we are still cruising. Next target for this one, 29. Trading at about 22.75 today. You could buy weakness back to this 2050-ish level. PGT Innovations. Not many better looking charts than this out there right now. This is PGTI is the ticker symbol. This is the building products company that I thought Belden was before. Look, just a really nice move again today. This is starting to look like quite a decisive resolution to me. If you flip to a weekly chart, we are looking at the weekly chart actually up here now. I'm also looking at a weekly chart following along. This one has been up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be 6 straight weeks. So really strong bid for this stock. Where are the sellers? I don't know. I think this base is going, and you can probably get in it right here, right now. We're trading at 28 and change today. The base breakout level called 2650, target of 3850. Nice risk reward. I like this. Richard Feintuch, Form 4 filer from November of last year. That's it. Go to the chat. Do we have questions? Buy the dip today. I don't know, Kenneth. Like I said, Joe Straza, is that my brother? Interesting. Like I said, I got to go look into this price action here today because some of these stocks are getting hit pretty hard, these growth stocks. Do you get another day? Do you get some sort of follow through tomorrow? Right? When I look at this ARC candle right now, it doesn't look so good. Down 3.5% on the day. Hard to think you wouldn't get some sort of follow through on this kind of selling pressure. So I don't know the answer to that question, Kenneth, but I will look into it. Be back here talking about it tomorrow on the morning show. And maybe I'll put some stuff out on Twitter, some good charts that I'm seeing today. So guys, thank you all for joining me as always. I just love watching the chat and talking with you guys. Shoot me an email if you have any questions. Steve at allstarcharts.com. Shoot the team an email with any questions, comments, concerns as well. That's info@allstarcharts.com. And we will see you right back here for our next Hot Corner call this time next week. All right. Have a good day, everybody.